And we go to Ohio, where former Dordt graduate assistant football coach Ben Dixon is hunkered down as he has made the move to Oberlin College in Ohio. And Ben, first of all, tell me a little bit about how did the move go at this time? I mean, you moved right when things were shuttered, if you will, and it appears you're up and kicking and doing all right.
Yeah, we made it. That's for sure. We decided to move the same day Ohio put in their stay-at-home order, and so we were pretty anxious because we were planning on kind of moving then, and then we heard it was going to come, and so we decided just to move, hunker down, and then be where we're going to be. We were kind of thinking of it as beating a storm. You know, if you're racing a tornado out there in the Midwest, you want to beat the storm and get to where you want to stay. And so that's what we did, and we're pretty glad we did. We like our place, and we're all pretty settled, at least in our apartment. We have no idea what the Cleveland area really looks like, but it's been fun.
We'll talk about Oberlin in just a little bit. I'm going to take you back a few years. What year did you graduate with your undergrad at Dordt?
Yeah, I graduated in the spring of 2012 in physical education.
From there, what did Ben Dixon do when he graduated?
Yeah, so oddly enough, I was going to GA immediately. That was the plan. Then Coach Heavner resigned, and one of his assistant coaches, Brant Steffi, was going down to coach high school ball in Oklahoma. And he asked me one day, he goes, "Hey, I know if you're still set here, that's great. You'll do a great job. But if you want to, I can try to get you on down in Oklahoma. They have a spot open, and I think you'd be great for it. You can teach PE." And so I looked into that and just really thought it was a good opportunity at the time and paid a little more. And so at the time, I thought that was important. So we went down and coached at Ponca City, Oklahoma. That's high school, about 1,300 kids, and was the offensive coordinator there for 3 years, DB coach for 1 year. And then from there, I went to Broken Arrow High School, which is the largest high school in Oklahoma, about 5,000 kids, 9 through 12, and coached wide receivers there for 2 years.
You had the taste of coaching big school football in Oklahoma.
Yep.
What drew you back? What made you say, you know what, I'm going back to Dordt. I'm gonna pursue the Masters. And some would say you're going to take a step back in terms of a career and pay scale. Obviously, what made you commit to that?
Yeah, so it was really a slow boil from the moment I left Dordt until the moment I decided to come back. And I'd always had the itch to try college for many reasons. I feel like you can just learn so much more. I wanted to try my hand at recruiting, just see what the college game is all about as a coach from that side. But then, we got to Broken Arrow. My wife and I, we'd just been married for about a year and a half, and we were loving it. Love Broken Arrow. To me, it's the best high school job in the country. But we were starting to get an itch to do something a little different. I knew that I was starting to get an itch to try college coaching again. And then my wife approached me without me saying anything to her and said, "If you want to coach college, let's do it now and give it a shot." And I told her, "You understand that only entry-level stuff will be open." She said, "If you want to do it now, let's do it." And so we took the opportunity, and I reached out to just 2 or 3 schools that I felt would be good fits for me and I felt comfortable recruiting to. And thankfully, Coach Penner called me back, and they just happened to have a spot. I didn't know if they were going to, and it just all worked out. Definitely a God thing.
Last 2 years you've spent with Dordt, and what was your role as an assistant coach with the Dordt football program? Positions, what did you coach, and then what were your quote unquote not on the field? What did you do when you weren't coaching on the field?
Yeah. Okay. So when I ended there, I was a pass game coordinator, wide receivers coach. I obviously was a recruiter. That's the most important thing almost as a college football coach. Obviously taking care of the guys and the wide receivers, and then I was also in charge of travel and JV head coach.
What did you how did that prepare you? I mean, you came out of high school in pretty prominent programs. I would imagine you thought, you know, a fair amount. Was there still more to learn when you got into the college game?
Yeah, there's always more to learn, right, Mike? I'm sure you could probably say the same thing. And you've been in the same job and doing really great at it. And I'm still sure you'd say you're still learning. But yeah, one thing that drew me to Dordt was Coach Penner told me, you will be a full-time coach that's compensated differently. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want to go be a coffee grabber and things like that. So it was just learning every single day, learning and recruiting, learning how to schedule travel. You know, at Broken Arrow is such a big program. I didn't have to do anything except coach. You know, is really incredible. But when I got to Dordt, I learned how to schedule meals and hotels for 95 people, how to schedule practice at the University of Nebraska. And so just learning all that and then combining it with recruiting and learning how to better manage my time were just invaluable to me as I launch into my new steps in my career.
What now led you to Oberlin College? What did that process look like in terms of looking for a job at this point?
Yeah, so you know, everyone knows a graduate assistantship has an end date, right? And so as I was entering my time to find a job, very stressful, but you know, I had supportive coaches around me at Dordt, and then had everyone out looking, putting out feelers, and so I started interviewing around, and then this is the craziest thing. It's the only person. So there's this website called Football Scoop, right?
Yep.
Lots of jobs are on it, and the only person that ever responded to Football Scoop emails, Coach Steve Oppennorth, who's the head coach at Oberlin College. And now having met him, I understand that he probably opened every single email because he is so detailed and he doesn't want any stone left unturned in anything. And so he had just taken the job at Oberlin. He called me back. I was actually eating dinner with Daniel Finley at Four Brothers and hanging out and talking about stuff. And I did spur of the moment phone interview for about 20 minutes with Steve while Dan sat there listening. And but it was, yeah, that was our first contact. And then we just kept going. And he called references. And then I got an on-campus interview and met with him. And, you know, over the phone, you could tell he was a very energetic guy. And now being around him more and interacting with him more and on the interview, it's nonstop. It's unbelievable. Just how much energy and passion he takes to the game. And so that was very intriguing to me, obviously. And then, yeah, he offered me the job about a week after my interview, and I accepted it probably 24 hours after he offered it.
What are you going to take away from your time at Dordt? What amounts to 6 years, the undergrad and now the graduate as a graduate assistant. What do you take away from that experience, Ben?
Yeah, the Dordt experience, man, it was just invaluable to me, and I've said that once already. But as an undergrad, it really helped me grow in my faith, helped me grow as a man, helped me understand just how the world works and really form my worldview. And probably Dordt grads laughed I use that verbiage, but they would say the same thing, I'm sure. And then as a graduate assistant, you know, the football wise, you know, Coach Mingo, Coach Penner, Coach Nutt, McCormick, all those guys helped me learn how to be detailed with my football, how to be a better teacher, but also how to do it the right way and how to do it in a Christian way and how to do it to where you are an upstanding man and a better coach and discipler to your athletes. But I mean, that's probably just a short view of what Dordt has done for me. But yeah, it's just, I don't have the words to explain as much as it's done.
Oberlin College, you alluded to the fact you haven't seen much of Cleveland yet, that area. Where is Oberlin in relation to Cleveland and the lake, if you will?
Yeah, so we're about 15 minutes south of the lake. We're 30 minutes from the heart of downtown Cleveland, west of it. And so it's a really unique campus. You know, it's a college town, has 3,000 undergrads on campus. But it's kind of nestled with no other town around it. It's not technically a suburb, but if you drive 7 minutes, you're in the suburbs.
Okay.
You go 30, you're at Cleveland Brown Stadium. And so it's just a really unique place to where, to me, it's like the perfect setting, right? You can be in big city real fast, where you can just hang out in the college town with some really cool little restaurants and a huge museum and some really cool amenities.
Oklahoma to Iowa to Ohio, the life of a college football coach.
Yeah. Yeah. Got a great wife that allows me to do it. And my great 10-month-old that doesn't know what she's getting into quite yet. But I think she's doing all right so far.
Well, Ben, it's been really good to talk to you, kind of close the chapter on your time at Dordt. And I always tell people you never know what how the circle turns yet. So we'll see what happens in the coming years. But best wishes to you and your time at Oberlin, and really hope things go well for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike.